Hi everyone, welcome back to Plum Mashable. So I am on holidays this week, which means I'm going to use the beautiful Planners Anonymous Riviera kit to celebrate. So let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, so my long-awaited holiday is finally here. So we're going to do a holiday theme using the Planners Anonymous Riviera kit. You've already seen a bit of what I'm going to do with this, so it shouldn't come as too much of a surprise. So we're going to get straight into it and just take off my Remembrance Day sticker and my little Christmas countdown sticker, just using some undo. Nothing new there. Actually, I'm not going to do that because I'm going to let that dry while I do some experimenting. So I'm just going to grab in my gel press. So I've just taken it out of the box. That's all I've done. Oops, I just realised I've left some brown ink on there. So I'm just taking the packaging off. And I'm just going to stick it down on my glass mat. My favourite thing about my glass mat is that this, well actually it's not, I've got lots of favourite things about my glass mat. But I love that things like this stick. And because I'm not going to be moving it around or anything, I'm happy to use this as opposed to sometimes I use my Misty, which also works really nicely. So I'm just going to do a test first because I'm kind of, my sort of idea for my background is based a little bit off these windows because I'm going to play with these windows. But I just want to see which colour I want to use in the background. I used Gathered Twigs last week or on Friday when I was doing my what's it called? My little memory book. But I just want to see what tea dye looks like. It's a little lighter and I might be able to put them together to kind of make this sort of bricky background. I always do it. Always go too hard with my brow. Somebody needs to remind me to go slow and go even. I'll fix it in a sec. It's covered in ink at the moment. And now so are my fingers. Inky fun. This is just a plain piece of white paper. I just want to see what that pool looks like. Yeah, that's the one. And then I'm going to come in with some bricks. So, I'm going to clean that, not completely clean it off, but I just like to get a nice smooth reapplication. And then I fix my brow. There we go. Just going to take off all the excess ink on there as well. Alright, and then come back in with the tea dye. So just as I did before, just swiping this all the way down my gel press. And then we're brayering it to make it smooth. So if I went straight on with my page just as it was, it would come up a bit splotchy. So this is my way of making it not so splotchy. So I'm just making sure I've got it on the right one. This is the back half of the week. And I'm just going to add just a bit of A4 paper here. This is a bit of scrap. Just so that I keep the back as clean as I can keep it. Because obviously that's a, oh, that looks cool. That's going to be another planner week, so I don't want to get it covered in ink. Yeah, that's perfect. So do the same thing with the other side. Oh no, that was Gathered Twigs. Damn! Slight waste of ink, but that's okay. I just re-inked it too, so it was good timing. I'm going to have ink all over my hands for a couple of days now. So I think last time I did this kind of gel press, I did it with oxide, and either works. Either is fine. It's just that this time I'm going to use ink because I'm going to use ink on the for the stencils. So just wanted to kind of keep it the same. So I use that same A4 sheet again just to protect my very pretty Halloween week from last week. There we go. There we go. Haha! So I'm just going to give this a clean. when I'm going to bring in my brick stencil, and I'm going to bring in that same pouncing or same foam tool that I used last week. And I'm going to use the gathered twigs with it, so it's a little bit darker than the tea dye. And I'm just pouncing in little spots. So if you sort of see the brick on here, it's the same. It's very scattered and very imperfect. So I'm sort of trying to replicate that in different spots. I'm not going to do obviously exactly the same because I can't make it be exactly the same. But I can give it a try and just make some texture here with my brick. And I'll decide if I need more afterwards. This is one of those ones, I have a rough idea of what I'm doing. Just be interesting to see if I get the entire look I'm looking for, or I'm planning in my head, if that actually comes to fruition. So we'll see. I'm going to leave it at that for now, and we might add some more in later. Oh, I like that. Alright, so then we're going to do two different things for a background. First of all, I'm just going to clean up that ink so it doesn't go anywhere. And in fact, I'm just going to give everything a bit of a wipe there. So I'm going to do two things. The first thing we need to do is add in a side bar. And the sidebar is then going to be where our little book, see how that just fits in beautifully now, where the little book's going to sit. So the sidebar needs to come to about here. So I just need to work out which piece of paper I'm going to use, and I'm really heavily leaning towards this one. I just love the way it looks, and I think with the flowers then down the side, it's just going to look really pretty. So I'm going to stick that. That said though, I'm going to cover the whole thing up with stickers, so I'm just debating what I'm going to do, because I do want to put from the sticker kit, I want to put the weekly kit that sort of runs up the edge here. I was sort of thinking going up the side, so maybe instead of using that one, I use this one with that blue and have it as sort of like a background with the blue. Just need to work out where that needs to sit. It needs to sit about there, actually. You know what? I'm going to have some fun with some layers. So, just grabbing a bit of washi tape. This is just to hold this still for a sec. Whoops. So I'm just going to trim that down so that I've got just that little bit. And I've got to allow a little bit of give room to be able to get that sort of sliding in. So it's going to be a pocket and it's going to be stuck down. But because I'm sort of shoving this in there as well, it's going to need a bit of give room. So we'll just see how that works when I stick this down. So I'm going to put tape all along my edge and then all down my side here. And the good thing is the glue on the sides then going to mean that it can't hit the rings. So the book won't hit the rings, and I'll just have to punch the hole so that it can go back into the planner. I was going to say I nearly got it. Okay. Yep, it's lined up right. So then see how that then slides in there really easily. That's perfect. That's just where I wanted it. So it's going to take up a fair chunk of the week, but that's okay because I'm on holiday, so I'm not going to need it anyway. So it works really well. And then what I was trying to explain last week, I want to put it so that, not last week, on Friday, I want to put it so that that sort of sits in there. So you can sort of see it as a bit of a popping out. So I just need to put it back in where I need it. I'm going to grab a lead pencil and I'm just going to very gently just mark on my front. And then because I can see then where that line is, I'm just bringing it over the back. And I'm going to grab my steel rule and then just join those two. I can also then bring my eraser in and get the little marks off the front. I was very light-handed there too, so easy to come up. And then with my ruler and a craft knife, I'm just going to cut down that line just so I get the backing sheet. So I'm not going super hard here. I'm just pushing enough to get through the back. And because that die cut's really thick anyway, it does make it very easy just to get through the paper. Yeah. Okay. So then the paper side, this side's the side that comes off, so the skinny side. And then I can stick that down right on the edge. And then you'll see when you pull it out, it's not stuck. So it just slides straight in like that and it joins up on the inside. Oh, I love that. Yay! That worked just the way I wanted it to. Excellent. Cool. So I'm going to trim off the excess in here and then we can put the holes back in because I kind of feel like I need them to be able to work out where to put my stickers. Just love the way it sits out like that. It's just so cool. My stickers are going to sit down the side. I'm not going to worry about the top and the bottom. They're just a little bit smaller. So I'll put some washi at the top. Actually, I might put washi all over the bottom. I'll do it afterwards. I'll put the stickers in first. I'm going to put the washi at the bottom here so that it's got a bit of a continuous look. I love the houses. They're just beautiful. I'll do that. It'll all come together in a sec and I'll work out what I'm going to do at the top. So I'm just going to leave these, when I say leave it in, I'm just going to leave the sticker in, the book in, just to get the first one sort of placed. It's not stuck yet, it's just there. Now that it's sort of roughly in the right spot, then I can go ahead and stick it down. If I ever get really worried, I've got a T-ruler, I just can't find it at the moment. It's here on my desk somewhere. I can do that and I can get a rough idea that that's right. There we go. So I'm just going to go ahead down the page, stick all the stickers on. I usually don't go to the trouble of making sure that I've cut that in exactly the right spot, but I want to be able to try and line it up on the other side, maybe. So I'm just making sure I did that. The other thing I'm just going to do too is just with that craft knife again, I'm just going to just cut down the side. Where did my ruler go? So just cut down that washi, and that way it can continue to, the pocket can continue to open the same way it did before, but it's got that continuous washi down the edge, so it'll still look perfect. Alright, where's that book gone? So it looks a little bit something when the book's out, but when the book's in it, it looks lovely. So I'll just find something in a minute that'll help cover that up when the book's in it. then what I'm going to do really quickly is I'm going to go ahead and stick all the days down on this side, and then we'll come back and work out what we're going to do on the other side. I'm going to do the same thing I've done recently, or ever since these sticker books came out basically, and just trim around the outside, because I don't want this to be white. I want this to be the same tea dye, but I'm also going to just hit it with the, and I'm just sort of doing one sort of quickly, I'm just going to hit it with the outside of that tool. So I'm just going to brown it up, so you won't notice it quite so much, even though I am still going to the effort to trim it off. Alright, so there's the one side. We'll work out what to do with the November in a second. I'm going to continue the washi on the bottom for this side as well. I know I don't want to do that. And then we'll work out how I'm going to, or what I think. Because I'm aware of the fact that I have dropped off like half my page on the other side. So I think what I want to do is do a flip up with the boxes with the houses, because I think it'll sort of add to this side. And then I want to grab a couple of the windows. This just does not want to stick down. There we go. And I think I want to grab a couple of the windows and put them all over the top, but I just need to put so I like the idea of this sitting at the bottom, the washi still being there, and then this will flip up. I'm just trying to decide which, maybe that's where the blue comes in on this side. It goes that way and it flips up. Alright, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and stick that down. So I'm going to do what I've done in the past, and I want the whole edge here. This actually one works really nicely because it's got a nice straight kind of edge. So I'm going to go all the way up to that top bit, and that'll give me this little house sort of thing. I am going freestyle here. I could grab a ruler, but it's actually not that difficult to do, so that was actually quite easy. So you can stick these down and then cut it out again, and then place it down on the that way. Place it down on the page, and I'll be right back. Okay, so my stickers are all down. It's not quite perfect. They're sometimes a little bit wonky. I can see a little bit of the paper coming through, but it's good enough for me. I always run out of tape at the exact wrong moment. So I'm just going to stick that down on here. I'm going to just go down to the line. So I'm going to leave it off to the side here so that it butts up right against the edge of my page. But then, yeah, that's it, perfect. And then I just rolled the washi tape up, but I'm going to put it back down. Whoops, if I can get it straight. So then it continues sort of along that bottom. I think that looks really cool. All right. And then I am going to finally bring in those windows, because I did promise I would. I'm just going to cut out 3 of them. I want one of the pink ones, one of the green ones, and then one of the blue ones. I know I'm being a bit wasteful, but I don't mind. I don't want any of the ones that have too many flowers on them, because I don't want it to be too hard to cut them out. And then I'm just going to fussy cut them. I'm just going to sit right on the edge of the window frame or the shutters, and then just go around the flowers as best I can. I don't mind if they're not 100% all good, because I'll come in with a bit of ink and that'll kind of hide any of my imperfections. I'm still going to put my day in, actually. I'm going to move my day over this side. Now, it still needs to make sense even without the book in it. I'm going to be cheeky. So there was a little bit here that I cut off that was on the edge of the paper. Didn't end up using that beautiful piece of paper I thought about, did I? Oh well. I'm sure I will find other places to use it. I'm going to stick that one sitting outside. And then what did I have? Oh yeah, let's get that one. Just using the ones now that are sticking out the side of the page, just as a, so I don't waste one. I don't want to cut this one in half if I don't have to. And the ones without flowers are so easy to cut, so it does help. The ink is just an extra little bit. You don't need it. Just feel like I've vintaged everything else. I should do that too. The more I'm looking at this, the more I'm loving it. I do need to add a few little things still. Part of me so wants to put that on the edge, but I'm not going to. I do need to add a few things to hide bits and pieces. So I'm going to use one of these beautiful floral bits to sort of hide the November. So I'm going to do the same thing as I did with all the others, just get rid of some of the white. Don't need to cut it this time, I'm just going to dab it. Just a side note, if you're someone that doesn't like getting your fingers inky, because I've obviously gone to town here, if you're someone that doesn't like getting your fingers inky, just put these down on like a piece of sticker paper, and then you can ink your heart's content, and then just come back and stick them down. So I've got that little bit, and then I'm just going to add in, I know there was another flower here somewhere. I'm just avoiding the one with the gold because I don't want to use the gold, because I've used so little of it. I just want to use a little bit if I can. should have used that one. Can I? Just going to use that to cover up the sundae. That actually looks really good there. And then I'm just going to pull up that Monday. These stickers are great. They're really coming up without any kind of problem. And then this one, ow, just because of the way it's built, I can't really do it anyway. So I'm just using that bit of sticker paper like I was talking about. I'm going to need a bit more ink. Don't need to be careful. Don't need to worry if I'm going to make a mess. What I have found is that the pad kind of diffuses having too much ink there, so I don't have to worry so much about it being too what's the word I'm looking for? Intense. That was the word I wanted. Thank you, me. Oh, that looks so pretty. Okay. So then I'm just having a look and checking what other bits I need. I am really tempted to just do one other kind of over the top crazy thing. No! Sorry, I just realised I broke one of my cards. It's alright, I can fix it. Just trying to find where I put the skinny washi. I'm really tempted. I just love this sort of festoon lighting kind of thing, and I just love the way that it's going to completely disappear behind like into the background anyway, because it's clear. So, well, clearish. So I'm just thinking that I might add this in a couple of little places. So I'm just going to stick it in behind the flowers there, and then tuck it in behind my little pocket. Just have it in different little spots. I feel like it's going to look really pretty up here because I'm kind of, there's nothing at the top there. But then if I hang it between things is what I'm kind of thinking. Whoops, I just put a hole in the paper, but that's okay. Yeah, you can't tell. That looks so cute at the top there. And I'm just going to add in a couple of more little bits. Alright, the only place that I feel like something's missing is just here at the top. And I'm just wondering, no, I was just wondering if maybe that was the right thing. Maybe a bit more floral. Okay, so what I'm going to do, so I'm going to pull up this whole backing sheet from the first page of the book. Doesn't matter if I tear any of the back of it. I only want this little floral bit down the side anyway. So it's just ways to get more out of your sticker books. Don't just go for the actual stickers that have been cut. See what else you can get out of the edges. So I'm just going to trim, give it a little white edge so it'll just look like another one of the stickers. And this one I'll leave white. I think I'll leave white. It is a little difficult because of the stickiness of the sticker, but I'm just using it to my advantage if I can. Just to be able to move it a little. Now it's got a little bit of that tapey stuff at the top, so I'm just going to try and get that off as well. I just don't want to cut it in case I make it uneven. And I don't want to put it into the trimmer because it's already a sticker and I don't want to lose too much of the stick. I think that'll be okay. I can trim off a little bit more in a minute if I need to. So I'm just gonna stick that on. Not even close. So I'm just coming a little higher than the sticker, and that's just so I can cut, than the paper, just so I can cut off that teensy little edge. There we go. I'm not going to throw that bit away. I'll keep that and can use that for something else. I can just come along here and cut off that excess at the top. All right. I shouldn't have done that, but anyway, it's done now. I just made it a little bit grubby, but that's all right. No, I am happy with that. I can put my little booklet, like I said, it'll hide a little bit of what's going on, but I really love that. Where's the paperclip? There it is. The paperclip's staying. Paperclip is staying because it is just too pretty not to. So I'm just going to tuck that in there, and that can all sit in my planner. It is going to chunk it just a little, but I just love that. I think that's come together really beautifully, and it all works together, like I said. So it's sort of part of last week was, I keep calling it last week. I know it wasn't last week. Part of Fridays was obviously making the book itself, but it was really easy. And then you can just build it all up and bring it back in. I love the brick. I love the brown. Just generally very much liking this week. And then I can put all of my packing lists and all the other things I need to buy while I'm in South Australia in there, and it will all be perfect. What have I forgotten? My sticker. Ooh, ooh. So I'm just going to pull this up. Where's that? Oops, not you. Just to make it fit in with everything else, we'll just pull it back a little bit. I'm just going to get in and under that window a little bit. Now, if you are someone that, oh, look what I've done to the back of that, horrible. If you wanted to, you could very easily could have made these sort of pop up or flip up, because I've already got so many things that flip up. I didn't see that I should, but there we go. But that could have been something cool to do too. The windows could have moved up. There we go. There we go. So I've got my holes in the right spot. Got my festoon lighting, which I just love. I love that little bit at the top is probably one of my favourite little bits. And I just think it's come together really nicely. So I hope you have enjoyed this one too. Please give it that big old thumbs up if you have enjoyed this one. Don't forget to check out Friday's video if you haven't already to see how I made the little book. And I will give an update over on Instagram once it's done to sort of show you what it looked like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for lots more Planners Anonymous videos. They are all over my channel. You can hit the playlist at the end if you want to see some more. I hope you have an absolutely awesome rest of your week, and I will catch you again in my next video. Sending lots of huggles. Bye!